No, let's bring her. I know that you hate my episodes. Uh-huh. And you dislike me with Festival of Fiery Suns. Uh-huh. And you think I represent everything wrong with characters of my gender in these type of stories. Yep. But, using your boxes there to kill a defenseless dragon like me isn't a very good look. Oh, I know, Garble. That's why I actually sent a letter to the Dragon Lord asking her if it's okay to beat you within an inch of your sorry, forgotten, Tiamat forsaken life. And here it is. Ahem. Dear Legendbringer, normally I condone the use of violence against my own people. Oh, thank God. But it's Garble. I don't even see him as a dragon. What? I don't even see him as a human being. What? I don't even see him as living. What are you talking about? What? So please, Legendbringer, if we find out that Bellatrix is actually Trixie, go on and beat him with an inch of his sorry life. Only one dragon will maybe kind of miss him. But I think she'll get over it. Love, the other girl you have a crush on in this series, Ember. So you see, Garble, I actually have full-on rights to beat you until you are nothing more than a bloody pulp on my Mazinger. So, everybody who actually thinks that Garble has some right to live, you better hope that Bellatrix is not Trixie. Yes. That there's a twist to all this, and that Trixie is still Trixie and not a changeling. The search for Spock. A few hours later, Fluttershy, Shiny, Twinkle were all standing at the castle entrance to see Screwball, Twilight, and Mothball off. You sure you don't want me and the girls to come along? Fluttershy asked her friend. It'll be like old times. I appreciate the offer. But this is Mothball and Screwball's story, so... Knowing these type of stories, if the older generation came along, we would have just gotten away. Still here. Twilight said with a smile. But it'll be enough of a shock for Bellatrix to see a princess of Equestria. Well, all the bearers of the elements of harmony. She'll think we mean her harm and run before we get a chance to talk to her. Besides, a lot has changed over the decades. We all have families and responsibilities now. Which reminds me. She knelt down to her daughter. You be good now, sweetie, okay? Twinkle folded her hose and glanced sideways and saying, I will, he will. I'll only be gone for a few days. As soon as we find the princess and bring her back to our hive, I'll be right home. If you get lonely, you can always call me on the magic mirror. Oh, Scribble, Fluttershy screamed. Do you have the... Scribble smiled as he flashed the mirror into her hoof. Roger. Her mother kissed her on her forehead. You sure you're ready for something like this? Get real, Mom. Mother and I defeated the whole Changeling army. How bad can finding one Changeling princess be? Now, if you run into any carnivorous creatures along the way, relax, Mom. I'll do what you taught me. Fluttershy grinned and gave her daughter a hug. Then she did the same to Mothball. Take care, she whispered. I will, Mom, he replied. Screwball looked through the doorway and saw Discord mopping on the couch. His back turned to her. Dad, he called softly. He gave no response. Fluttershy looked back at him and sighed. He's just concerned for you, you know, she told her daughter. I know, Screwball said with a sigh. I just wish I hadn't yelled at him. Can you tell him I'm sorry and that I love him? Fluttershy nodded and kissed her daughter one last time. Good luck, sweetie. She and the Foals waved as the traveling party took to the skies. Twilight withdrew the glowing butts from her saddlebag and waited for it to point the way. When they were out of sight, Twinkle yelped and spun around. Who pinched me? Zane let out a snicker, which made the young Alicorn feel in fury. Why, you? She lets out her Hosea, was forced Fireside stepping between them.
Alright, kids,
Fireside commanded softly.
why don't you go play in the ball pit? If I hear any fighting or teachers use some magic, I will not hesitate to have Discord send you back to your bubbles.
The fool shrieked and zoomed upstairs. Fireside then looked sympathetically at her husband, flew over to him and sat down.
Screwy's sorry, you know, she said gently. Is he lost?
I heard, Discord mumbled, turning to face her. How come you're not worried? Usually when something like this happens, you're fussing over every pony.
I'm very worried, honey. But one of us has to keep a level head here. Besides, Screwy's a grown girl. Not to mention she has your power. She's perfectly capable of handling herself.
He huffed. That's not the point. She prefers that walking ball of Swiss cheese over me.
Sweetie, you know that's not true.
I'm sorry. It's just that my little Screwy's growing up and... Fireside laid a huff on his shoulder.
I know. Lots of changes are happening and you're not ready to let her go yet. Discord. Just because Screwy's growing up and starting a life on her own doesn't mean you'll stop being her father.
He sighed and said nothing. Fireside lowered her thought hoof as a new thought came to her.
How are you feeling, by the way?
Cross, Discord growled. I thought that was already established.
No, I meant about Chrysalis.
He paused. What about her?
Well, despite everything, you seemed quite shocked when you heard she was dying. You said she used to be your friend.
Fluttershy, I know it's in your nature to sympathize with all living creatures. But this psychopath tried to kill you. And succeeded for that matter.
But I'm alive now, aren't I?
That's not the point. Since the beginning, he stopped at nothing to destroy my happiness. Why, he's the very reason I came to Equestria and went mad and was turned to stone and
met me.
Yeah. He stopped and looked at her as the realization came to him. Fluttershy smiled assuredly.
If you want, you can go see her.
But, he started to say.
It's okay, I won't mind.
But, we hate each other.
Then now's a good time as ever for you to tie up any loose ends that remain between you two.
He stared into his wife's eyes for a long time, then sighed. As always, you're right.
Pew! Beep!
When Discord flashed into Chrysalis' bedroom, the changelings guarding her bared their teeth. General Madness stood protectively from his queen. What are you doing here, chaotic scums? The Conquest folded his arms. I request an audience with Queen and Sector Arcani, Chrysalis Changeling III. You are not welcome here, you curs. If you don't make yourself scarce by the time I count to 5, well, no choice but to...
It's all right, General.
Chrysalis commanded hoarsely. For your majesty, what if he's...
I'm already on my deathbed. What more can he do to me?
But
leave us.
The changelings hesitated, but obeyed their queen. They shot deadly glares at the Conquest before departing out the door. The general did not leave his spot.
That includes you, Mantis.
Chrysalis heaved. But my queens...
Go. I'll be fine.
Mantis opened his mouth to speak, only to be interrupted by his queen's warning glance. He hung his head in defeat and followed the others out. When the door was shut, Discord and Chrysalis were left alone for the first time in a millennium. You know, if this was me, I'd make this all a trick and that Chrysalis is actually perfectly fine and that them hunting for Bellatrix was a wild goose chase.
So, he said, smirking slightly, have you come to gloves? Perhaps put me out of my miseries.
Actually, he replied slowly, I've come to, well, talk.
She snorted. Talk, eh? Well, I must say, it's been a while since that's happened. You remember the last time we talked on a cliff, just the two of us, so young.
Discord turned his back. Those days have long since passed.
But you haven't forgotten them, have you? I certainly haven't.
The past is the past, Chrysalis. I actually came to make amends.
Really? She said, raising an eyebrow. Well, I must say, it took you long enough. Why the sudden changes of hearts?
Your face turned. Lucky for you, my wife has a very forgiving soul. You remember her, don't you? The one you nearly murdered?
Did I? Well. You sure know how to pick 'em, dear. You mean to say that this pony is naive enough to forgive me for trying to destroy her?
Discord pounded his fist on the bed. If you insult my wife again, I will make your death come sooner.
If you really are here to make amends, you're not doing a very good job of it.
He took a deep breath and retracted his paw and claw. Right. Well, for starters, I can hear you.
He huffed. Yes, right. Even if you could, why would you do that for me?
You're the most messed up mayor I've ever met, but you're still the mother of the boy my daughter's going to marry.
Chrysalis rolled her eyes. Go on, just try and bring your chaos magic on me.
Discord snapped his fingers and waited, but Chrysalis didn't look any better. He snapped again, and still nothing happened. She shook her head with a sigh.
It's no use, old friend. I'm magically terminal. No spell in the world can cure me. Don't even bother trying. My time has come. I dried up, gone. So if you have nothing else to say, leave.
I hate it when people try to arbitrarily put limits on reality bending. Makes me wish Bill would show up and bitch slap everybody who tries.
You called? Oh, no, I was saying Bill Hickok. Of course. Don't blame me for not making your little internet show just a little bit better. Now, care to take my hand and pull me back out?
No. Discord stared at him for a moment, turned his back again, raised his claw to teleport him away.
Dizzy, Chrysalis called weakly, I want you to know I didn't want to send you away. It was my mother's idea.
Discord lowered his claw and sighed. That's all right. You know, in a strange, twisted way, I said thank you.
She raised an eyebrow again. Really?
He turned his head. Had it not been for you, I would never have met Fluttershy and found my happiness. Also, by having Mothball, you provided my daughter with happiness too.
Chrysalis groaned. In that case, my plans to destroy you have clearly backfired.
They couldn't help but chuckle a bit.
The Chrysalis looked at him with sad eyes. Do you suppose, if things had been different, you and I could have...
Discord thought about it for a moment, then shook his head. No, I wasn't in a place to love anybody. But maybe, if we had tried hard enough, we could have been friends.
She sighed. Even then, that wouldn't have been enough.
He shrugged. I'm sorry.
Oh well, see he as he closed her eyes. Guess some things were never meant to be.
Discord watched as she fell asleep, and thought about the young princess he had met long ago. He hadn't forgotten that night on the cliff. He was still thinking about it when he teleported home.
Go on, Chrissy, Queen Arachne said as he stretched on the throne. Show Mommy what you've learned.
Princess Chrysalis closed her eyes and concentrated on the most complicated creature she could think of. Soon enough, green flames engulfed her as she began to change form. Her hooves became paws, her fangs grew a foot long, and her head enlarged into that of a tiger. Arachne watched as the head grew from the daughter's tail and another seemed to be developing on her shoulder. With the flames dismissed, a tiger goat snake chimera stood in Chrysalis's place.
Impressive, Arachne said with a smirk. You've certainly been practicing.
Chrysalis breathed as he returned to her young adult self.
I learned from the best.
Oh, yes, her mother said as he walked towards her.
You're ready, my dears. Ready for the thrones? That's who. You see, I have a special mission for you. What is it, mothers? My scouts tell me that the young princesses of Equestria befriended a young monster with powers far beyond anything you've ever seen. Chrysalis stood up and whispered, Discord? Yes, Randy growled. Up here, our little pawn is getting the royal treatment from those ponies. If they don't start hating him soon, he'll never be motivated enough to take Equestria for us. So, my dear, I want you to go see this Discord. Find his weak points. Certainly, there's something we can use against him. Me? The princess stammered. You want me to see him? Oh, I know you've been pining for that creature. I've seen you sneaking out trying to catch a glimpse of him. Well, my dears, if all goes as planned, you can have him. After all, with his unique power, you could create the most powerful changeling race in history. Hey, Arachne, can we talk about how stupid your plan is for a minute? So, rather than trying to keep Discord in your area so you can actually try to befriend him, trick him, and manipulate him so you can have him, you sent him over to Equestria with the sole intention of him learning to hate. So that way he can hate ponies enough so he can take over Equestria. You're not seeing the flaw in this plan? Like, oh, I don't know. What's stopping Discord from getting so pissed off that once he's done taking over Equestria, you come over and he looks at you and goes, I don't like you. It turns you into jelly. And not even good jelly, like grape or strawberry. But disgusting yellow orange jelly that looks like somebody puked all over you. That kind of jelly. That jelly. What's stopping you from doing that? Or are you so confident that your plan has no downsides that you're going to just continue on with this whole entire plan, you abusive prick? Chrysalis was excited, not about the power, but the idea of getting the creature she had been dreaming of for the last decade. After going over things with her mother, she buzzed out of the hive. On the borders of Equestria, she found him sitting on a cliff. In the town below, the parade was in progress, and he was making fireworks appear in the sky with a wave of his paw. Daisley's heart beat wildly as her eyes beheld him. He was taller, at least a foot more than her, and his neck was now as long as a giraffe's, and his body as skinny as a snake's. The white hair on his head was thinning out, and a deer antler and corn horn was sprouted. As his head turned, she could examine his profile. His face was no longer thinner, and a little white goatee had grown on his chin. She thought him cute before, but now he was as handsome as ever. Then she dug behind a tree, contemplating how she was going to approach him. She licked her hoof and used it to straighten out her mane, and dusted the grime off her body. She then decided to have some fun with him and took him in the form of a manticore. She jumped out of her hiding place and roared. Discord spun around surprised, but there were his eyes and snapped his fingers. Chrysalis screeched as she turned upside down. No, wait, she said, changing back to herself. It's me. Discord squinted and gasped, Chrissy. The princess yelled as she was knocked to the ground. The Chronicles approached her in amazement. Is it really you? Chrysalis looked up at him and smiled. We should stop meeting like this. He laughed and helped her up. What are you doing here? I came to see you, she said, nervously rubbing her foreleg. I missed you. He blinked. You and missed me. She nodded. I would have come sooner, but mothers. Oh, it's okay. I get it. So, how are things? I hear you're doing quite well in Equestria. You wouldn't believe it. Look. She blushed as he grabbed her hoof and led her to the cliff's edge. He snapped his fingers and made more fireworks appear. You see, he said, pointing to the sky and to the parade below, the princesses are letting me help out with festivals and natural disasters and stuff. I can use my magic, and nobody's criticizing me for it. The fireworks are my favorite thing to do. They're beautiful, Chrysalis said. I'll just sit back. You ain't seen nothing yet. He set them both down and waved to its glowing paw. Chrysalis gasped as one firework took the form of a dragon and began flapping through the sky. It breathed fire, causing several oohs to erupt from down below. As the show went on, Chrysalis turned to Discord. His smiling face was glowing with the flashing colors he was creating in the sky. At a moment of boldness, she closed her eyes and slowly leaned her head into his shoulder. Discord looked down at her confusion. "What are you doing?"
"Nothing,"
she said, quickly sitting back up. They glanced away awkwardly.
"So, Chrysalis stammered, if you play such a big role in this parade, why are you up here, not down there with the ponies?"
Discord sighed sadly. "Unfortunately, not every pony is used to the way I look. The princesses are."
She looked down sympathetically, touched his paw, glanced down at her huff as if the actor were alien. "But at least you have some friends, right?"
She asked. "Yeah," he said, smiling slightly. "Celestia's especially great."
She blinked. "Celestia."
"The oldest princess. She's actually the one who found me. See, I've been living in a cave for the last decade, and she saw me practicing my magic. She suggested I use my talents for good, and offered me a home at the castle. I don't think I've ever met a nicer pony."
Chrysalis felt twinges of uneasiness in her stomach. "So you would say that the Celestias are good friends?"
"I think so. Well, she says he is."
She gulped. "Is he pretty?"
He tapped his chin and thought. "Well, by pony standards, I think so. Oh, you should see her hair. It's near shade of pink and it's flowing. No, really, it actually defies gravity. It's so chaotic."
Chrysalis took a strand of her flat, greasy cobweb hair in her hoof and scowled. Then he turned to Discord and cast a spell to make her see his loved ones. Her face grew hot when a white alicorn with flowing pink hair came up. It wasn't quite love, but the affection for he held Celestia was greater than what he felt for her. "Hey, Chrysalis? Maybe, just maybe,
you should have visited it more."
A new feeling started welling up within her, one she had never experienced before. Her blood was boiling, her face was flushing, her head was pounding. She had the urge to snap the alicorn to dust. She felt jealousy, pure, burning jealousy.
"So, how have you been?" Discord asked.
"Fine," Chrysalis said through her teeth. "So, do you think anything serious might come with the Celestia?"
He held his head and thought. "I don't know. You think I have a chance?"
She was breathing hard. Steam came out of her nostrils.
"You all right?"
Discord questioned. "Fine," she snapped. "Just fine." He tried to turn back to the parade. She followed his gaze and smirked as an idea came to her. "You know, you don't have to do everything the princesses tell you."
"What do you mean?"
he asked. "Well, it doesn't seem fair that you should only use magic at their request. You should be allowed to do what you want. You know, have a little fun."
He twirled his fingers. "Well..."
"Oh, I don't mean do something destructive. I just say you could spice things up a bit. That parade is rather boring, don't you think?"
He glanced down at the procession. "Well, those floats aren't nearly as colorful."
"I know. That awful shade of brown on that one. Wouldn't it be better if it were pink?"
Discord said, rubbing his chin with a smile. "You know, it probably would."
He snapped his fingers and one of the floats turned pink. They could hear a few gasps from the crowd. "How about confetti?" Chrysalis suggested. "Don't all parades have confettis?"
"Haven't been to many," Discord declared. "Do they?"
"They should."
He snapped his fingers and confetti began falling from the sky.
Molly shrieked and murmured in confusion. "Great," Chrysalis applied. "But do you know what would really make this really phenomenal? You remember that chocolate rain you zoned me? I'm sure the ponies would love to see chocolate milk fall from the skies."
"Hey, you're right."
He snapped his fingers again, and pink clouds appeared all over the town. The ponies screamed as lightning started pouring on them. Discord and Chrysalis laughed hysterically.
"Oh, this is so much fun," Discord wailed. "Why didn't I think of this sooner?"
Chrysalis smiled. "He just needed that right inspiration."
"Oh, Celestia, Luna will love this."
The princess frowned and then scowled. The sea otter grunt got up and fled.
"Hey, where are you going?" Discord called. "The fun is just beginning. Chrissy."
She ignored his shouts and kept flying until she reached the hive. Then, when she burst into the throne room, she was in tears. Queen Arachne's eyes widened to sight.
Darling, what's the matter?
Oh, fuck you, Arachne.
Oh, mothers.
Gracilus wailed, throwing her hose around the queen.
I feel awful.
Shh. Her mother whispered, stroking her back.
Tell me what happened. He wouldn't stop talking about that Celestia. He said that he was prettier than mine and he was her more than me. Oh, Chrissy, I warned you about this. You must never let your emotions rule you. But fear not, sweetheart. Once the Equestria is ours and the princesses are disposed of, he can be yours. I feel so angry, like I want. What, my dears?
Gracilus narrowed her eyes and pulled away from her mother.
I want to make him suffer,
she said through her teeth. Arachne smiled.
That's my girl.
Screwball and Mothball and Twilight had been following the hairbrush for 2 hours. They flew above the trees in order to shorten their journey, as well as avoid danger below. Screwball suggested teleporting ahead a little, but Twilight argued they teleport too far ahead, they had to fly around until we found the trail again. So while Twilight led the group, paying close attention to the brush, the engaged couple came up with ways to pass the time.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
Screwball asked. Mothball raised an eyebrow. A regular-sized one, or the one in our kitchens?
The one in our kitchen?
Yes.
Is it a whale?
Yes.
Woohoo, that's 57 to 55. I win.
The changeling groaned. Can we play something else?
Wait,
Twilight said, suddenly coming to a stop.
What?
Screwball asked. Something's wrong. In front of them, the hairbrush was twisting and turning, pointing one direction to another.
Strange,
Twilight muttered.
The brush can't seem to decide where we should go, south or southwest.
Why is it doing that? Mothball inquired.
Don't know. Maybe I did the spell work.
The brush stopped and moved its chosen direction.
I guess southwest then,
Screwball said as he followed it.
It's still strange,
Twilight muttered. Are you teasing me?
Yes. I wonder what made you do that.
Eventually, they stopped pondering and continued on their journey. Mothball glanced at his fiancée and started to say something that had been on his mind all day. Screwies.
He said, yeah,
she replied with a smile. Suppose Bellatrix doesn't want to be queen. What do we do then? Screwball rolled her eyes.
We force her, of course.
But what if...
We're here,
Twilight announced. The group went down in the far distance and saw a small town in the middle of the desert.
Where are we?
Mothball asked.
Looks like Crater Creek. According to this brush, Bellatrix is somewhere in that town.
Yeah, Screwball exclaimed, making a cowboy hat appear in her head. I always wanted to visit the Old West. As they descended to the ground, Mothball took the form of a green Pegasus with blue hair, so as not to alarm the locals. Screwball gazed in wonder at the old-fashioned desert town.
This place is amazing.
Ah, yes, Twilight said aside. Good old Crater Creek. You know, the girls and I once defeated a gang of cattle rustlers here.
Oh, I love that story,
Screwball squeaked, climbing her hosing hair. Especially love the part when Mom distracts the bad guys with atomic cuteness. There doesn't seem to be a lot of ponies here, Mothball observed. Why would Bellatrix hang out here? Usually a changeling would settle somewhere with lots of potential victims.
I don't know,
Twilight said, not taking her eyes off the brush. But keep your nose out for her. He sniffed the air guy. This town smells like chili peppers.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Red hot chili peppers to be exactly.
Boo! Oh yeah, I forgot, Screwball exclaimed. Crater Creek grows some of the best chili peppers in Equestria. Auntie Twilight, we should remember to get some.
First we find a princess, the Alcorn said. Then maybe we'll do some shopping. Mothball yelled as the pony bumped into him.
Oh, excuse me, mister,
a Philly's voice said. No problem, he said as a blast of fluid went by. Then he paused and caused the winds of something strange. It smelled like dried mustard and plumeria and jasmine, but it was Bellatrix. There was something else about the smell that piqued his curiosity. He turned to locate the source of scent.
Hey, look, Screwball shouted. The bus is leading us to that caravan over there.
Right, now we'll see that this is not me. Right, Trixie, because this would not be good. Mothball forgot the old smell and turned to where Screwball was pointing. A small crowd of ponies was gathering around a wooden wagon painted dark blue and opened up to a stage with a red curtain. Do you suppose so Bellatrix is somewhere in the audience? We'll have to see, Twilight said, following the rest of the crowd. The ponies grunted and gasped as he pushed through. They smiled brightly when she saw the princess. Some of them whispered praises to her, but she ignored them. As the young couple followed her, Mothball sniffed the air again. Hey, he exclaimed, I think I've got her scent. So is she here? Screwball asked. Yeah, he sniffed, and the princess seems to know the way. Just think, we can find the princess is here so. This is actually an ideal hunting ground for a changeling. While ponies giving so much adoration to the performer, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Twilight stopped in front of the crowd. Well, what's wrong? Alicorn looked up. The press is pointing to the stage. Of course, Mothball uttered. It's one thing to be an audience for the performance, but it had to be the performer. No pony gets more love than a good performer. So now what? Screwball inquired. Do we jump backstage? Something about the stage, Twilight said, rubbing her chin. It looks a little familiar. Trumpets were sounding on either side of the stage, and the roof suddenly opened to reveal cardboard cutouts of stars and planets. A sighing hug from the caravan was a symbol that right Twilight's memory. Come one, come all, a voice echoed. The Alicorn froze. That voice. Mares and difficulties. Cow ponies and cows. Come and witness the amazing magic. She grew pale. No, it can't be. Oh, no. Of the great and powerful Trixie! Oh, no. Oh. Vic. You. Lindenbringer? I'm very fragile. Uh-huh. Powder on. Mazine, go. Well, at least you're only using Mazinger and not Mazikaiser. This reminds me of a funny story. Let me tell you a story, Garble. It's the story of a bully dragon who, for some odd reason, only gets away with a slap of on a wrist in every one of his episodes. Who, in his premiere episode, instead of having the main six kick his ass, like a good bully should, they just ran from him. Even though he was a sexist, no-account bastard. However, since this is a fanfic, I have full permission to beat him within an inch of his life. Rocket punch. Well, Lindenbringer is going to kick the ass of Garble. We'll be right back. Save a piece for me, will ya?